Hello learners, welcome to Triaright. Today we will be learning about the annotations and reflection. In this chapter we will be going through the metadata and annotations. So here by the end of this lecture we will be studying about, we will understand what annotations are and why they are useful and how to define them and how to apply these custom annotations. We will build in annotations. We have the built-in annotations like override and deprecated, etc. And understand how annotations serve as how these annotations will serve as that metadata that will provide the information of the data that is present in the meta part. And they will briefly explore how annotations are processed using reflections, that is the preview of new session. So what is this annotation? Annotations in Java are there the metadata that provide information about the code, but do not change their behavior. They give us all the information about the code, but they do not change the behavior. They stick to a particular behavior. Yeah, and they are not code logic. They are not code logic, but decorative too. Suppose so they are not code logic means they do not go according to the code, whatever the code is written, but they are just providing a decorative aspect to the tool, like they are for decorative aspect for the tool as compiler checks. They will provide the compiler checks, and they will provide for code generations, and they will also provide for frame processing like Spring and JUnit. Example of this Spring processing are Spring and JUnit. Now coming to this built-in annotation, there are various built-in annotations like override. This ensures to override the superclass method, the methods that are present in the parent class. The method that are present in the parent class, all these methods are overridden here by the override annotations and deprecated. Here they will mark methods. They will mark the method and classes for outdated. If the methods and classes are outdated one, they will mark all these methods are outdated one, and they will suppress the warning. They will suppress at the rate of suppress warnings. They will suppress the compiler warning. They will suppress the compiler warning. Now coming on to example, we have this class animal. We have a class named as animal, which has a method void speak. It will speak. It has a method called speak, which has a body part as it will print generic sound. The body part states that it will print a generic sound. And here the dog class. There is another class dog. This will extend animal class only. Yeah, so it will acquire all the properties of this animal class. It will acquire all the properties of this animal class, and it will override also. You will at the rate of override, that is the annotation used here. So it can copy or use all the methods of the parent class, that is the animal class. So here it will inherit. It will apply the method present in the parent class, that is speak, void speak method. Yeah, and it has a body part system.out.println, the woof, that is the sound of dog. That is the sound of dog. And deprecated. This is the third annotation used here, deprecated one. And void old method. This will give us there is a method void old method, and there is nothing here in the body part. Just we want for the example only. So we have the old method. This is the old method. It will tell the what are the old methods. And now coming to the annotation syntax and their usage. And annotation, they are prefixed. We have seen that these annotations are always prefixed with at the rate of sign. Now they can be applied to. This can be applied to classes, methods, and fields, parameters, etc. We have used them as methods. We have applied them using the methods here, but they can be used for classes, methods, fields, and parameters, etc. Now coming to my annotation, at the rate of my annotation, this public class, there is a class my class, at the rate of my annotations, who we will apply the value as value equals hello, and the count. We are giving the value of count as 3 here. There is a method my method. There is a method my method which does not contain anything is body part. But just for example, we are using at the rate of my annotations. Where we can provide my annotations to show the example that these annotations are prefixed to the at the rate of They are prefixed with the at the rate of signs, and they can be used for classes. They can be used for classes. Here, this class, there is a class my class, and it has a annotations, and my annotation at the rate of my annotation. Methods field for the field. These annotations are used for the fields applied here. They are the hello and count. Yeah. Now coming to creating custom annotations, creating custom annotations. And now coming up here, we will start. Will be steps the steps to define custom annotation. There are different steps to define the custom annotations. So we are using at the rate of interface keyword. We are using the at the rate of interface keyword. We are using here at the rate of interface keyword. It set retention policy and target. It they set the retention policy. They will have their own policy and the target, and declare annotation element. They will declare the different annotation element. They will declare the different annotation elements. For example, we have to import this package from import. So import java.lang.annotation. We have to import from java.lang.annotation .star. We're importing this package, and at the rate of we are using at the rate of retention annotation here, at the rate of retention policy dot runtime, and at the rate of target, that is having implement type dot method, that is having implement type dot method. Here we are using interface method as my info, public at the rate of interface at public at the rate of interface, and this is annotation which is having my info. This is used for class. This is a class here. My info is a class, and which is having methods string author. Here it's not a class. Here it's an interface. It's not a class. It's an interface. We have studied what an interface is. Either here it is using annotation as at the rate of interface and my info, and which is a public field as string author, and string version. And suppose we have to apply the annotation. We have to apply the annotations. So what we'll be doing for that? We have the classes as demo. We have this class as demo. This class is demo, and at the rate of annotation we are using at the rate of my info annotations, and whose author is Rohit, and this version is 1.0. Now here goes the public class display. We are going for the public class display method, which will have body part and system out println and display methods. This will be displaying the various methods. So now coming to the retention and target. So here we know that retention. They determine how long retention is kept. How long annotation is kept. They determine for how long the replication or rotation is kept, and for that we have to provide the source as the class and the runtime for all those for this retention. At the rate of retention, we have to provide the source class and runtime for how long the retention is to be kept, to determine how long the retention is to be kept, and at the rate of target. At this annotation at the rate of target. At the rate of target is another annotation. It specifies where the annotation can be used. It tells where the annotation that is method or field. It tells where the method can be used, where this annotation can be used. Suppose, for example, we are having at the rate of retention, at the rate retention. This retention policy at runtime, which has a package as retention policy at runtime, and at the rate of target, which has element type dot method, element type dot method, the element type dot type, element type dot type. Now you have public at the rate of interface info. We have the public interface, which will have the body part here. Now, what are these annotations? Why we use these annotations? Why we use these annotations? We use these annotations to reduce the boilerplate code. We use to reducing the different boilerplate code. For example, Lambok, Spring, and for reducing all these boilerplate code, we will be using directly the annotations here to apply or to comply with all the things provided here in this Lambok and Spring everything. It will enable the code analysis tools. They will enable the code analysis tools and upon what kind of analysis has to be performed here. And they will provide metadata for the two frameworks. They will give you the metadata. They will provide metadata to frameworks. These were frameworks. Their frameworks will be using the metadata, and so they will be providing the metadata to these frameworks. So used heavily in they are used heavily in these annotations are used heavily in JUnit testing at the rate of test. For JUnit testing, where we use the annotation at the rate of test. for JUnit testing, for Spring Boot at the rate of rest controller. For in Spring Boot part, we have at the rate of controller at the rate of rest controller. Here this annotation will be using and serialization library. There are different libraries like at the rate of JSON property. We will have different JSON properties for that we will be using at the rate of JSON property, and they will help us in serializing the libraries. And so we can create different activities such as create a custom annotations at the rate of code source with trainer duration and level, and annotate a class Java course. We can annotate a class Java course and show how a retrieve annotation data with reflection. We will show how to retrieve data annotation with using reflections. Finally, we have a brief view. We can provide a brief view of what we have learned here. We have to import the annotations from the we have to we have to import this annotation from the yeah from the java.lang.reflect method. We have to import this method from java.lang.reflect method. Now for this from java.lang.import method. Now suppose we have a class public class reflection reader. We are having here a class public class reflection reader. So which has a main method line as public static void main string args which throws exception. Here the class which has type question mark which has type which has class which here the class demo. There they we are providing demo dot class. There we are providing it as demo dot class. We are providing the class as demo dot class. For the method that are in class dot get declared methods. The this is the bunch of method here. For the method that are present in this class dot declare methods. If a method is annotations present my info class, if the class this class is present there, my info my info, there we are getting an object of this info object, or there we are getting an this info is of info type, my info type, and we are having this info where we are passing this info by the method that are present in get annotations my info dot class. There we have the method mine. There we have various method in this class. So here we will get methods get dot get annotations my info dot class, which will be printing author plus this will be printing message is author plus the info author method here, info author plus info dot author method here. And similarly it will be printing the version message plus info dot version method here, info dot version method here. Now full reflection of annotation processing can be covered in next lectures. Actually, moving further, we will be watching out different processing of the different annotations. So here we learned about the how to override annotations, which verifies the method override. Now we studied about the interface annotation, which defines custom annotation, which defines the custom annotations present in the classes. Now at the rate of retention, this control annotation is lifespan. This control the annotation lifespan. This will control the annotation lifespan till how long the annotation will work or not. At the rate of target, this is an annotation which control applicable code element. This controls applicable code element. Now we are at to the end of a class. Thanks. We'll meet in the next class.